It's Friday with DJ and Brandon, yet another fantastic, familiar, and lovely guest, DJ.
Yeah, she's familiar, all right. This is Sonia Gross with TxDOT, and
Hey.
glad to have her back because she's had a lot that's happened to her since she was last on with us, and I thought it'd be time to let her update us. And also, as you know, Welcome Partner has a monthly breakfast, except in December. But every month we honor first responders. And so Sonia echoed really what was going around in my head, that we should honor the whole staff of TxDOT. You know, those guys that are out there dodging us as we drive.
Wow.
And we're not paying attention and so forth. And I've thought about that because they're out there in all kinds of weather and everything. And Sonia asked if it would be okay if we did it. I was like, yes, I wanted to. I just didn't know how to coordinate it. And so we had the whole thing happened about 3 weeks ago, and Sonia set it up. So in this picture, why don't you tell us who it is? And we'll see, I go this way.
Well, if you're looking to what I'm seeing as being left to right, next to me is Blair Johnson. He is the district engineer for the Amarillo district of the Texas Department of Transportation. Then there's, of course, me. And then the short one there, let's see, who could that possibly be? Oh, yes, Miss Welcome Partner herself, DJ Steuben. And then Representative Poor Price was kind to make an appearance as well and honor our state employees. But yeah, I had nominated our guys, you know, because I served as the public information officer for just over 6.5 years for the Amarillo district. And during that time, I got to witness what these guys do on a day in, day out basis. Probably not as much as I wanted to or should have, but I got a good taste to know that that's not a job I want. And so kudos to the guys and gals who do take the challenge and make our roads safer for us to drive on every day. But they had responded to a wide variety of floods that happened primarily in Amarillo and Canyon, but across the entire panhandle. And then some deadly tornadoes that touched down in Perryton, I believe in early June. And so they just, you know, as soon as I left being their public information officer, they got hit hard. And I felt bad that I wasn't there to support them and, you know, capture the video and the pictures of the hard work they were doing out there and, you know, help with the cleanup effort like everyone else did. But you know, I was able to at least nominate them for the first responders of distinction. So thank you, DJ, for making that happen. And a huge thank you also to District Engineer Blair Johnson for making time available in his district leadership meeting for us to nominate those people. But the real question is, why am I in that picture? That's because DJ's sneaky. She's sneaky, sneaky little brat. And
you don't say.
And DJ, my husband had a question. You do this random acts of kindness, and he wanted to know if I was being honored for a random act of kindness, or if the random act of kindness was being thrust upon me. And I said, you know, that's a great question. I think it might have been a little bit of both, because we both know I'm never kind. But
I doubt that.
Oh, there are stories, but.
Was it Wade that asked you that?
That it was Wade, yes.
Yeah.
I haven't changed. I've changed a lot the last 3 months, but not my husband.
Well, I couldn't hear a while ago who it was that you said. Well, the thing about it is you have helped me surprise other people over the years, but I didn't know how I was going to ever get to trap you. And
trap
so,
is the word.
And that was the perfect time to do it. And I knew you were really anxious when you met us out at the car. And I thought, well, we're going to fix her in a minute anyway.
Put me in my place.
Yeah, and Blair was with me on it. He and I'd been emailing back and forth, and it was, to me, it was a bit emotional. Of course, I love to do the stand-up part whenever I went up, because he gave me the floor and he said I had as much time as I needed, and I like that. And so whenever, and we had two officers from Randall County Sheriff's Office there too. And so what we always do with our breakfast meetings is that if you're a first responder, would you please stand up? And it was really neat. Those officers stood up, and then Blair was standing next to me whenever we both said, okay, now everybody stand up. And that was so moving because they looked around at each other like, really? It was like incredulous. And it was just so heartwarming because the fact that that's what we want to do is they're out there all the time. And thank
Yeah.
you for nominating them. This is something, like I said, I wanted to do it, but it was just too big for me to do.
You're going to make me cry because I love those guys and gals so much, and they truly were deserving of that. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate you making that happen.
Oh, I hope that they liked it really well. I hope that it made their whole week feel better. Because they deserve it. And also what you had written on your nomination about how even the HR department went over to Perryton to take care of your staff, make sure they were hydrated, that they had what they needed. It was, to me, it was a great big old love story.
It's a family. That's all I can say.
It's really easy to take for granted what they do. You know, it may be tempting sometimes, folks, to associate a construction hat and a safety vest with nameless, faceless people, and you know, you're in your rush to get somewhere, and there's the potholes, and there's the, you know, things that are being repaired, and then there's irritation when there's a problem, and then there's irritation when it's being fixed. And many times I can only imagine it seems to be a thankless job, but those are real people there, real lives. And
Definitely.
they're also risking their lives too. Have you seen how some people get road rage around construction areas? And my goodness, you know, I'd almost be afraid to ask what the sad statistic is with fatalities, just simply due to distraction or a bad attitude in regards to people that are on the front line, so to speak, literally fixing the lines, right, or on the road there. And anyhow, I think it takes a special person to occupy those positions, and there's a whole lot of things that they're working on right now too.
Well, I asked Blair, I sent him my picture of me standing beside my car because I always wave at them, and they probably think that's some little old lady that just, you know, lost her marbles and stuff. But I really do appreciate what they do. I do the same thing with the city of Amarillo, like the guys that pick up our garbage and all that, because what they do is a thankless job. What if you had to do it yourself? And so anyway, whenever I walked in and I saw up on the screen that Blair had a picture of me next to my car, and then he told everybody, he said, she wants you to know that when she's waving at you, it's to tell you hello and thank you. And that meant a lot to me because I know there's, and I read it online, people saying, when are they ever going to finish these? I rolled down the window and I told them so. We're blessed that we even have the money to get these roads done. You know, they're faithful stewards of the dollar. They're out there working for us. And so anyway, that was me meeting you halfway, Sonia, on your nomination, because we wanted them to feel special. And we stuffed envelopes so that they would all have envelopes. And we brought them fly swatters so they could be part of the SWAT team. And it was so much fun doing that. And we had the best work day because we were just like all day long.
It was a great day. And to Brad's point about deaths on Texas roadways, I don't have the construction zone numbers in front of me, but I can tell you we have not gone a single day since November 7th, 2001 without a deathless day on Texas roadways. So we have this campaign, you've probably heard me say it before, hashtag End the Streak TX, and that's end the streak of death, of days. Let me try that again. You can tell I'm not the public information officer anymore, but our campaign, hashtag End the Streak TX, of death-filled days on our roadways. So we want to go at least one day without a single death. And that hasn't happened in 22 plus years.
Mhm.
Wow.
Well, Sonia, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're doing now, since you're still with TxDOT, but
I'm still at TxDOT, thank goodness. Yeah, that was one of my big things. I enjoyed being a public information officer. Not that I'm a special kind of person, but we all know I am, but not for that reason. But,
Of course, come on.
But it's
Princess.
a 24/7 job, and a lot of times it's the same, even though every day is different, it's the same campaign year after year. And it can get frustrating saying every year on November 7th, having an event saying we still haven't gone with a deathless day on our roadways. The click it or ticket campaign, it gets really tiring that we have to tell people to buckle up. It
Right.
gets exhausting to teach parents and grandparents to make sure their children are buckled safely. So God bless our not our travel, but our traffic safety specialist, Lavisa Matthews, and her counterparts across the state. God bless our public information officers and anyone that's involved in communicating that message of safety. And and I will continue to do that, but my new role is as a public involvement specialist. So it's similar yet different. I do a lot of the same work from the standpoint of I help develop website content. I help proofread anything that will be involved with an open house or public hearing or public meeting, stuff of that nature. So I'm now assisting in addition to the Amarillo district, but also Lubbock, Midland, Odessa, Corpus Christi, and Abilene, those districts with their public involvement efforts, as well as statewide campaigns like the statewide active transportation plan, the statewide multimodal transportation plan, ports to planes, the consideration of converting US 287 into an interstate. I just learned that recently that's
Wow.
being studied. So I'm assisting on all of the public involvement efforts around those statewide and then those district involved projects.
A lot of important projects. What's your involvement with the Don't Mess with Texas project?
Don't Mess with Texas is TxDOT's anti-littering campaign.
Uh-huh.
I'm not involved with that per se, other than I fully embrace it and wish everyone else would too. I'm the one who yells, rolls down my window and yells at you if I see you throw a cigarette out the window.
Yeah.
I also yell at
Do you
smoking,
yell, "Hey,
but,
don't mess with Texas"? Is that what you yell?
Don't mess with Texas, but yeah, it is a registered trademark. It belongs to the Texas Department of Transportation, and it is a statewide campaign that has been supported by celebrities throughout the years, like Willie Nelson and
Matthew
who's
McConaughey.
the cute country singer? Who's my cute country singer? George Strait. Yeah.
And most recently, if you go to text.gov, you can read about the Don't Mess with Texas. The Ethan Hawke, he's one of the newest celebrities to join the campaign Don't Mess with Texas. Ethan was in a lot of good movies, and Gattaca is one of those that he's the most noted for, and some other ones as well. And so a lot of great campaigns that people aren't really aware of in their day-to-day life. They tend to take it for granted, but they shouldn't, because TxDOT is doing a whole lot of good in Texas, that's for sure.
Well, and one of the complaints I got as a public information officer was, the trash, the litter along the roadways. And I'm like, well, would you like to adopt a highway? So,
yeah.
And there's information on TxDOT.gov on how you can go about it. If you're in a church or civic organization, or if your family has a reunion and you want to spend that family reunion, working off what you eat, clean up the roadway. And we've got all sorts of information and supplies for you to do that with. So
I love that. If you're at a family reunion, would you put down the chicken wing and set aside the cupcake and help pick things up for a little bit, maybe get some exercise? Maybe there's a TxDOT weight loss program that involves cardio, walking, and picking up the highway trash.
Yes, we do have an internal program that maybe we should take it externally.
I love it. I love it. Fantastic. Well, you know what? Just always good to see you, Sonia, and DJ, yet another fantastic person, local celebrity, and doing whole lot of good there in Amarillo and around. And thank you again, Sonia, for joining us today.
It's all, she's
Thanks for having
everywhere.
us.
Hey, Will, how's it going?
Hey, it's going great, Brent. How's it going today?
It's going great. Who you got right here?
I've got Fernando. He's going to be cooking with us today.
Oh, yeah. All right. What are you cooking today?
We're going to do some chicken fried steak. We've got a ribeye, and we're going to do some catfish.
Woo, man, I can't wait.
That sounds good. We'll get started. Okay, this is USDA Choice Black Angus beef. It's aged 21 days, and we cook them to order however you like them. And we do a great special on Thursdays. It's a 10-ounce ribeye special, smothered in mushrooms and onions. You have to come out and give it a try.
Red River Steakhouse. You can't get more Texas than this. Check out our delicious menu at redriversteakhouse.net. Find a location near you. Come in or DoorDash.
Welcome to Marketing Mavericks with none other than Rebecca Vi and Lady DJ Steuben and Brent coming at you, talking about the importance of branding in marketing. How are you ladies doing today?
Living the dream. Can you hear the train behind me? Like, sounds like I'm about ready to.
I hear the train a coming.
Right.
That's the sound of success coming your way, Rebecca.
That's right. I need that. That's good stuff. Good stuff.
How about you, DJ?
I've been living the dream early today, and lots happening. And I'm so glad that Rebecca is a morning person too. See all the information she's pouring out for us, and can't wait for us to get to share it with our audience today.
Sharing
Yeah.
good things with our audience is what it's all about. Tell the folks what DJ is talking about there, Rebecca.
Well, I thought today when we got together, two of the things I want us to talk about is the importance of branding and marketing. And then also, because we're always trying to give cost-effective tips, some ideas and how to guerrilla market and what guerrilla marketing truly is. So that's where we're going to go with it today. I think it's really going to be a good topic for people. I hope you stick around and watch us because we've got some really good stuff today.
Well, it's always good. And you know what, folks, you're getting
For
free
sure.
advice. You're get actually, and I mean, no exaggeration here. The kind of things we've been sharing with you, I've been paid a lot of money to share with people in consulting, as have you ladies. So folks,
For
these
sure.
are free tips, but don't think for a minute that it's not valuable. And of course, there's a marketing workshop or series of workshops on the horizon for you, but we don't tell you just enough to be dangerous and then leave you hanging for the answer. We give you some real life answers, boots on the ground, guerrilla marketing, so to speak. Never been a more appropriate time than this because you're in a fight for your business, folks. Have you noticed? And, but you can have a great time at it. You can do good business. You can refer good business, and you can treat people right in this guerrilla marketing. But kicking it right off the bat, Rebecca, I love how you start this though. But hey, tell us, what's the definition? That there's marketing, branding, advertising, PR, special events. They're all different, and yet they all should work together. Rebecca, kick us off.
Well, I think that branding really is services that you shape in your brand in a consumer's mind. So you're giving meaning about your business to a company, and you're helping them shape what they think about you. So it's super important that you keep that brand integrity. And the reason why you do that, the purpose of that is obviously to differentiate yourself between you and your competition. And I love small business. It's my passion. And I cold call. To this day, I still cold call. And it's one of my favorite things to do. I don't like to do it alone, but I go with sometimes my business partner or whatever, which is my husband. But
All
I
right.
love to cold call. But one of the things when I'm doing a client needs analysis, one of the things people always say to me is when I talk to them about what are you planting your flag in? Like what makes you different than your competition? And I always get, not always, that's not fair. I always get our service is better. Well, it's not. And what I mean by that is if you, and what I mean by that seriously is this, if I were then to go to your competition and do a client needs analysis with them, most likely they're going to say the same thing, right? So service is important, of course, but that's not your brand. And so when I say, well, dig deeper into that, what does that actually mean? What does service actually mean to you? What's the purpose of your business? What do you mean by service? Because then that becomes the difference between yourself and your competition, because
Right.
all of us are different. So they'll say something different. So don't write a commercial or put up a billboard or do social media and say, our service is superior or our service is great, because so your competition's doing the same thing. And if you want to have a impactful meaning on getting, more bang for your buck, really dive into what service means. And I'm going to give you an example. And I never talk about my own company, but I'm going to. For right now, I'm going to. The difference between my service and the 100 other agencies you can choose from in Amarillo, because it's true, right?
Right.
Is my service is this. I walk into a business and I evaluate that business and what they need. And my service in that means if that's coaching you through business development, if that's making you see the services that you can do on your own and then helping you get those tools, then along with that, providing services that and technology that you may not have. So those are my services. And in that also quality and performance are my cornerstones of who I am. So that's my brand. So whenever I'm thinking about marketing for my business, or I'm talking to, and even when I go to do client needs analysis, that's who I am. So it is service, right? But did you see how I funneled it into 3 different factors? And that's what people have to do, because that's where the impact comes in branding. Effective branding results in higher sales, because as a consumer can align with your values, your brand values, they're going to start feeling more comfortable with you. And the whole point of marketing is to get your business name out there and to increase your sales, in my opinion. What do you guys think? Am I on to something?
Sure are. Go ahead, DJ, you first.
Thank you. I always say that you should be different 3 ways from your competition. And where you were talking about service, that's one that's very trite and it's oblique. You don't know what that means. And the other one that I hear, well, we're friendly. Good.
I hope so.
And with Welcome Partner is an interactive direct mail marketing association. So we've got 4 things that we say that we live up to. And you want to make sure that you live up to whatever it is that you're branding yourself to be. Make sure someone you respect looks at what you have in mind to do. Because somebody who will tell you the truth, not somebody who just loves you and says, oh yeah, that's great. So you want somebody to be like and Brant. They're both really good and they're encouraging. When you ask them a question about something, they're not going to say, DJ, that's stupid. They're not going to say that. They're going to say, okay, well, you've got a good starting point here. Now, why is it that you said that your service is good? And just like what Rebecca was talking about a while ago, you want somebody who's going to be engaged with you, but be truthful. And that's what you get with these 2.
Well, and that's what I get with you as well. I was helping my brother. This was almost 24 years ago. And his company was called, he had a great tagline, but his name was undefined. He hadn't really branded his company. His tagline was "Service is our passion." Good
Uh-huh.
tagline, service, our passion. But the name of the company was Complete Service. And you didn't really. So I said, well, what do you love to work on the most? You know, I always ask a company, what's the best thing you do, the most amount of integrity, highest amount of quality, the least amount of overhead, but the most amount of profit. And that's what you should focus on. You know, that's what I was telling him. Well, he was working on ice machines. So I said, let's change it. Let's rebrand from Complete Service that works on everything to Ice Doctor. Sure
Oh,
enough,
yeah.
boom, gotta have ice. Service is our passion. Then I said, now there used to be a store called Successories. Remember that? When people went to the mall, you know, the landscape of beautiful landscapes and quotes, you know, successful people make others successful, you know, Successories. Well, there was this keychain. It was like a little golden looking keychain. And it said, you know, I said, get this and have engraved on it, service is our passion. Well, I can't afford that for every company I give it to. I said, do it. And it cost $7 for that keychain. Guess what? That 7 has turned into hundreds of thousands of dollars for the last 24 years. Because he communicated service is our passion, good branding tagline, but he used the name Ice Doctor, and he handles all the more schools in Oklahoma school system. But yeah, that's how important it is, folks, that your branding is
Right.
on point. Good point there, Rebecca.
Yeah, I
DJ?
think that if you look at, so you develop your brand and you really just think about it, you know, and brainstorm for yourself what your brand is. And then what is the advertising role in that? Right? Like, so, okay, now how do I advertise that? And really think about the voice and the image, right, that you're wanting to convey to people. I think that that's super important.